Welcome to this week's Smarketing show. We're pleased to have Reid Lucier, top headshot photographer. Yay, yay, yay. So he's going to be analyzing all of our photos. Scary. Tell us about yourself, Reid. Tell us about what you're doing and how you help people look better, in particular business people and salespeople.
Yes, of course. Thanks, Melissa. Thanks, Rick, for having me on here. This is going to be pretty fun. Like you said, my name is Reid Lucier. I am a photographer here in London, Ontario, and I specialize in professional headshots. So what that does for you as a professional is I use my particular skill set and knowledge and experience to get you the best headshot we can get of you. And in return, you can use those photos for your social media platforms, your web page, your business cards, billboards, all particular things. Now, I also help you. This isn't just done with the click of a button. I have a particular light setup that really illuminates the face and keeps it very flattering. I help coach you along the way with expression coaching and, of course, posing. And all those put together usually get you a great headshot.
So, Reid, that's where I caught on to you. You were posting on LinkedIn and you were talking about how, you coach people, which I think is so important in their headshot, because, the layman wouldn't know the angle of the camera, let alone expression, lighting, all those things. And on a previous Smarketing show, Melissa, we've talked about the importance of maybe bringing in a photographer to kind of make you look good. And, Reid, in preparing for today, because we think the profile shot is so important, the headshot, we were just going to run through maybe 10 areas, Melissa, that our audience might think, geez, I really should get a good headshot, and hence why you should listen to Reid today. So do you want to, maybe I'll start with the first one. The first spot we had, your LinkedIn profile. I was taught a long time ago by a great marketer that the first place I was told, Reid, people look when they read a magazine, look at a web page, you name it, is they'll look for another human face. And so it's so important that your headshot look good. And I would argue that goes throughout, your social media presence, because they see your face in the different platforms, Facebook, etc. What have you got next?
Absolutely. And then tagging onto that, Rick, I think social posts, right? So where you do, your little quips and your quotes or just a social post, having your image in there, because people like to look at faces.
Yeah. So for personal branding, Reid, what we're doing now is a lot of kind of frame of the social post would have the person's kind of headshot in there, just to kind of for branding. From a sales standpoint, I would argue proposals. When you give a proposal to a company, why not put your face on there? I think a lot of times companies receive proposals, but they're like, what company was that guy or lady with again? And then the next one be presentations. Like I gave a presentation yesterday to a big group in Minneapolis, and I had my picture right on the front, again, because it's that brand recognition, I think, proposals and presentations. What else have you got, Melissa?
Yeah, websites. So, I don't know about you, but when I go to a website, I go to the About Us. What does their leadership team look like? Or who are the people that work there? I want to feel drawn into that, right? So websites for sure.
Absolutely. And not enough websites, Reid, I would argue, have people's faces on them. People are using, you must see it all the time, right? Reid, stock photos everywhere.
I 100% back that one up. I always look at the About side, About Us. And if I see like mixed matched photos, I'm like, wouldn't it look so much better if you had like cohesive photos, all of them?
Yes.
The same lighting, same background, everyone looks professional.
Absolutely.
Invest a little bit more in your company, like make your team look good.
Yeah.
Or no photos at all. A weird example, when I was in Vancouver and I was looking for a dentist, I went to the About team. And I just felt like I trusted them more because I saw their photos.
Yeah.
Rather than some of the sites that didn't have anyone. Like, that's a weird way of putting it, but I just trusted them more because I saw their photos. And I think that's really important. You really got to have your photo out there.
We would agree with you. And, coming up, by the way, folks, we're going to talk about Reid's 5 classic mistakes people make. And then he's going to give you some tips, by the way, on how to do the ultimate headshot for yourself. But as we plow through, I think it's not common knowledge where people would use their headshot. And I think as a result, they don't place enough emphasis or importance on it. So the next area I would say is like a speaker bio. So if you're a senior executive and you're going to be speaking at a conference, often they'll ask for a picture. And, not unlike your LinkedIn profile, you don't want to have the arm of the ex-wife or ex-girlfriend or shoulder the drink from that.
You took my example.
You see that all the time, right? Hey, I was dressed up at this function, so I'll use that.
And then their arm is cut off right here. And you know what, Rick, to tie into your speaker bios, we do a lot of online virtual webinars for clients. And we get better traction when we can show who the speaker is, not just talk about them, but hey, here's a picture of them, right? So, I agree with you there. The other way, to use it would be press releases, right? I mean, how many boring press releases do you see go out that's just text? Add some photography to it, add a headshot. Who's the author of it, or who are they talking about? Or is it a promotion within a company, or whatever that is using it there.
Always we include those in press releases for that exact reason. Blogs as well. How about email signature, Reid? How many emails do we all get every day? And there's no picture of the person. And I know a lot of people wince at that. They don't want to show their face. But in the era of personal branding, I just think your picture on your email would be so important. Reid, you mentioned business cards. We used to kind of giggle candidly at the real estate market because they put the picture of the realtor on the card. But I think it's so valuable because, when I go to conferences and I'll get a card and I'll be back later going, okay, who is this guy? Oh, yeah, if I had the face.
Right.
Yep.
How many business cards do you collect when you go networking, right?
Absolutely. And I mean, LinkedIn's your digital business card, but that physical, business card that you drop off. The other thing, Rick, I thought about too is, and I just mentioned webinars that we do, is Zoom, right? Or Teams, is having your default picture being a great headshot as opposed to just a black outlined head or nothing, a black screen for that matter.
The text of your name on there. That's how.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Another one you might not think of is dating profiles.
Okay, come on. You're giving it away. I'm trying to keep my dating profile.
Oh, yeah. See,
Reid here.
You want to get that swipe the right way, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I actually had to downgrade mine there, Reid. I was getting but I had to go with the off track.
I thought your lighting was a little dark for that, Rick.
Yeah. So, and the last thing I think the last two would be like mailers. Like we're seeing a resurgence, believe it or not, in physical kind of paper-based mail stuff, promotional items, billboards. Reid, you mentioned. And the last I would say is we do a lot of work with Fanshawe College, a local college here, and when we get resumes in for even people applying for us, I'm like, geez, they would stand out so much more if they had a headshot on their resume, so you can see what the guy or lady looks like. And I think a lot of people may again wince at that and say, all right, well, I don't want to show my picture, they're going to judge whatever. But we have a formula for our resumes, and I can tell you it's 100% hit rate in terms of getting an appointment when the person has their picture on their resume. So those would be kind of 12 areas to put them. Now, Reid, you've done a lot of headshots, and maybe if you could talk to us about some of the classic mistakes you've seen.
Yeah, definitely. So I'd say the first big mistake is not having a headshot. Yes. So I'm pretty big on LinkedIn, Rick. That's actually where you discovered me. So you probably know I'm pretty busy on there. So I still find it a little surprising when I'm scrolling LinkedIn and I see the empty headshot icon. I'm thinking like maybe 5-10 years ago that might be acceptable, but I feel like nowadays, sort of how we touched on this earlier, social media is sort of like your first point of contact, whether it be like a potential client or a business that wants to work with you, or if you're looking for work. We know employers go check out your social media. So you're not having a photo right off the bat, to me, put something up at least. Put something. Like having a blank just makes me think, why is it blank? What are you hiding? That's just me though. And
we agree.
Yeah. Another one following up on that would be not updating your headshot. Now, I think we can probably agree the older we get, time goes a little bit faster, and before you know it, your last headshot was 2-3 years ago. And obviously looks change, and I'll get into that in a second, but people change. I mean, maybe that was from an older job. Maybe, you've gone up and you're more mature and you're more, experienced, and you really want to bring that out in the photo. Obviously, maybe you had more hair before, maybe you weren't gray and now you're gray. Maybe you had long hair and now it's short hair. Like those are always good things to update. But I really feel like a good example is I had the financial advisor come in, and he probably did his last headshot, I'd say like maybe 7 years prior. And the photo was fine, but he had sort of like this baby face thing going on. And now he had like the beard, the slick back hair, and I put him in like.
He looked more current.
Yeah, well, that too, but I put him in like the man's lighting, what I like to call. And he just looked like more experienced, more mature. Like that's the guy I want investing my money. Babyface guy, no, you look like you're probably going to mess up my money somehow. This guy, he looks like he's been around the block. He looks trustworthy. He's got that distinguished look. And like, that is a huge deal. Like if you compare the two together, you'd be like, wow, like that's a huge difference. And I think that's really key to update. I work with realtors a lot.
Just a question. Sorry. How often are you seeing people update their headshot? Like what's you know, I agree with you. Look, I remember we were looking at buying a home and I saw the realtor's face on the thing. And then I met this person at the open house. I'm like, are you the same person? It's like, but I think people may wonder how often they should update, even though it may seem obvious. Like, what are you seeing or what do you suggest?
You know, for time wise, I'd say probably every like 2-3 years is good.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, like if you just got promoted to a new role and like, it sounds kind of weird too, but headshots can really, you know, bring up your confidence. Like when I have people come in and they hate getting headshots and they leave with a photo that they're like over the moon about, like that, their confidence goes up. They love it.
Absolutely.
And like when you post that new headshot on LinkedIn, and you're getting all these comments like, "Oh, I love it. You look professional. That's so much better than your last photo." Like you're up there. Like you're over the moon, feeling really good, right?
Yeah.
And I don't mean to throw realtors under the bus, but I'm actually pretty shocked sometimes when they come in and tell me how long it's been since they got a headshot. Like one lady, I met her at a networking event, and she said it's been 20 years. And I'm like, let me see your card. And I'm looking at her card, and I'm like, that could probably be your daughter, to be honest.
Right.
And I'm like, who uses a headshot more than a realtor, right? It's on their cards, it's on their for sale signs. Every time they post a photo of a house that's for sale, there's a picture of them in the corner. Like,
yeah.
I think real estate may be an easy kind of lane to focus on, but I would argue, Reid, like we're doing a lot of work in personal branding right now. Yeah. And I would say that as in today's digital era where people kind of look at from the digital perimeter before they engage someone, it's not realist, like it's every industry right now. And that's why I wanted to have you on, because, you know, you're looking through the lens to make people look good for that first impression digitally. And, you know, your example of the investment, I can totally relate to that. I've looked at investors before and thought, okay, there's no way I could trust that kid with my stuff. We keep going though. You had some good mistakes there. So one is a outdated one. What else were you thinking is a classic mistake?
Using any photo, I think. And I'm guilty of this as well. Like when LinkedIn first started, I actually used a photo from a New Year's Eve party. I had a dress shirt on. I had a nice smile. I was probably half in the bag. That's probably why I like it so much. But kind of like you said before, it was a group photo, and I cropped myself out from that photo. And I can get it why people use photos where maybe it was like a wedding and they just really like their smile. So the thing about that is, if you invest in yourself and you find a photographer that you like, it's our job to get that smile out of you. Yeah, like you don't have to worry about it. That's our job. And we'll get that smile, and the benefits of it is you'll have lighting specifically designed to illuminate that face and make you look good. And you're gonna have a plain background, so there's no distractions. There's no Uncle Bob in the back having a beer. You know, like this is exactly what we do. And so invest in yourself, get a real photo that's really gonna like I said, the confidence of it as well. Yeah. Any other mistakes you see all the time? So the next one I was thinking it was kind of funny is when people say I want to lose weight before I get my headshot. And I get this every once in a while, and you know, someone's like, "Hey, I love your headshots, and you know, I really want to get one updated, but I want to lose like 20 pounds before I do." And I'm like, "Yeah, great. When you lose 20 pounds, like, come give me a call." And you know, I never hear from them. Yeah. The funny thing is, I get it because I've been telling myself to lose 15 pounds for maybe 6 years now. It hasn't happened. So I kind of approach it a little bit different. If someone does bring that up, I'm just like, listen, I have ways to light you and pose you that make you look slimmer without the dieting. So we can get this photo now. And if you want to come back after, you know, you lose those 20 pounds, I'll be happy to be the first person to congratulate you and get you another great headshot. So you don't have to wait. And then, you put pressure on yourself and all that kind of stuff. And like, just get it done. Don't overthink it. And if you do lose your 20 pounds and, you know, feeling with that extra boost of confidence, come back. I'm happy to do it again.
Absolutely.
No,
And
good
the thing
point.
is, people are gonna see them live anyway, so get the picture up there. It'll be more flattering.
Yeah, 100%.
So the background's a classic. We see it all the time. You know, there's
Yeah.
a distraction in the background, I would call it, that takes away from your face.
Mhm.
You know, when we talk about like LinkedIn with groups, like I always suggest your face, that headshot you're talking about, should fill about like 60 to 70% of the whole. So I would also say a classic mistake we see is your head is actually too small where it's shown. Like there's too much of the background and not enough of your face is shown.
Yeah.
But so if we flip it around and say, okay, hey, we got Reid on today. You've done a ton of headshots. I've seen your work, and you know, we're going to show it during today's show. What do you think are some kind of best practices or tips that you would suggest for someone, you know, when it comes to a pro headshot?
My tip is do your research on your photographer. I mean, if you go Google photographers in London, Ontario, let's just say you come up with John's photography. Now, I don't know any John photography, so I'm not picking on anyone here. But if you go on their webpage and they see, John does weddings and families and pets and landscapes and God knows everything, right? Sort of a jack of all trades. Now, can John do a headshot? Sure. Is he going to have the exact same skills as someone that specializes in it? Like, no. There'll be a big difference in that. So I'd say find someone that specializes in it. It's like you wouldn't bring your Porsche to a Honda dealership, right? You bring it to Porsche because they know Porsches.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No,
Yeah.
totally.
So I'd say that's a pretty big tip. The other one would be, while you're researching, is their style. So find a style that relates to you. You're like, I like those headshots. They're consistent throughout the whole portfolio. You know exactly what you're getting for, for what you're paying for, and I would get that for sure. Like, definitely find something like
style, Reid. Like, people may not know what you mean by style. Like, I've seen your work and I can see how you've coached people to get a certain look. Is that what you mean by the style?
Yes, that's from the looks, the lighting, the backgrounds. Like I've had different styles, and now I'm pretty happy with the style I'm working on now.
Mhm.
And like I said, like you know what you're gonna get when you hire.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think where you mentioned people are jack of all trades, or with style even, is there's some photographers who are truly natural light photographers. They do a phenomenal job, and they do families, and they do them outside, and they capture all that natural light. But for a headshot, for a corporate person, a business person, being inside and having the right lighting and having, a special person doing that, someone like yourself, who that's what they specialize in, I feel like is a win. But again, it depends on that person's vision for how they're going to use that photo, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So find the style that you like, and
it's
make sure
different.
it's consistent, and just use that person.
One of the big things I picked out of this, Rick, there's several, but one of the things that sticks with me is confidence.
Mhm.
And I think people think, oh, I was at this wedding and this was a great smile on me. And so it's as professional as I can get, because I'm terrified of getting a headshot because I want to lose weight, or whatever the reason is, or I don't want to invest in it, whatever their excuse is no, don't use that. Go get a professional one, even if you don't want to. They're going to make you look good. This is what they're good at. Do your research, and you are going to be confident. And then you're going to be a better salesperson, especially if we, Rick, we deal with a ton of salespeople, right? And confidence is a big, big thing. And especially with everybody being virtual now, and researching you on LinkedIn before they even meet with you, if they are going to meet with you. So look the part, and then you'll feel the part.
No, for sure. Reid, you were talking before too. A best practice would be, I think, to look at the reviews of the photographer.
Yeah, definitely. Check out reviews. We're not, reviews aren't new. Anyone's used Amazon forever. Check reviews for everything.
Yes.
So just make sure, find out what other people's experience is with that photographer. Sometimes some people are like, oh, maybe he was moody, or maybe I felt rushed, or I didn't feel confident, or he under-delivered with the photos or something. On contrast, sort of what you touched on, Melissa, is confidence. I'd say 99% of the people that come into my studio don't want to be there. The first thing they say, oh, you're going to hate me, Reid. I hate getting my photo taken. This is going to suck. And I laugh it off. I'm like, you know what? It's going to be fine.
That would
Don't
be
worry
me.
about it. Yeah, I'm like, don't worry about it. We're gonna have fun. And then you really just, I'm a pretty easygoing guy. I don't know if it comes off in this podcast here, but I'm very chill.
Yes,
When
you
you're
are.
yeah, when you're ready to shoot, we'll shoot. And the funny thing is, I tether to a laptop, so we will sit down and look at the photos. We'll do a round of photos, and we'll sit down and look at it. And I love when they first see it.
Mhm.
Like, oh, geez,
Wow.
wow, like that's me. That's amazing. I'm like,
Mhm.
great. So, what do you like about that? You like your smile? Okay, great. Let's go up and really work on that smile, and just tweak some things, and then we're gonna get the great photo. So, for reviews, if you're that kind of person that's very hesitant, see what people are saying. Do they say, hey, like I felt really relaxed, I was very comfortable, I didn't think I was photogenic, but then at the end I got this amazing photo. Like, these are things that are key.
Mhm.
Like when I ask clients, like, is it okay if you give me a Google review? Did you like the experience? Talk about the experience.
Mhm.
Like, obviously you're probably gonna like the photo, but the experience is kind of like what people are going to more relate to.
Absolutely.
So it's like, yeah, I felt comfortable. Like I was dreading it. I pushed it back like 3 times. I finally had to come in because my office told me I need a headshot now. And yeah, like I had a guy come in the other day. His work was making him get it. He didn't want to get it, and he ended up buying I think it was 9 photos.
Mm.
He's like, yeah, I love them all. He's like, I would have kept buying them more, but this one the wife is gonna like. This one my mom's gonna like. I love my look in this one. This one's for work, and yeah, just check it out. See
No,
what I yeah.
Reviews are important in any type of business. It's something we talk about a lot,
Mhm.
with our customers. And, I just want to thank you for coming on today because, as we turn the corner here to 2023, people are making New Year's resolutions and they'll make all kinds of different ones. And I wanted to have you on because I looked at your work on LinkedIn. I was like, holy cow, like that guy's making people look good
Mhm.
and looking good digitally. Looking professional, representing your personal brand, all those things I think are so important. And what an awesome Christmas gift given this time of year to give somebody. I'm sure if you're a business leader, even I know, we've had instances where the entire team will go in and get their shot done. So to your point, everybody's heads angled the same way, lighting, etc. So it's not just an individual thing, but I think it could be a team exercise, and just so powerful in so many different ways. So Reid, just keep up the great work. Would be my suggestion, if I may, on LinkedIn. I think showing your work is the best signature of your skills.
Mhm.
And if you're looking at your selfie right now or your headshot and thinking, you know what, I need a bit of an upgrade, Reid, where would people kind of get a hold of you?
Yes, so I'm at topheadshots.ca.
Awesome.
Awesome.
And then LinkedIn, right?
LinkedIn, of course, yes. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's where I do most of my posting there. And yeah, I'm looking for people that, don't particularly like getting their photo taken. They know they need one, right? Let me put you at ease. Let me get you a great photo of you. Like, just don't overthink it. It's
Perfect.
fine. It's fine.
Awesome. Well,
Awesome.
thanks
Well,
very much for joining us today. And, again, a big push here, respectfully, to get your headshot updated. I know when I shaved my head and went bald, I had to do a whole reload. And I get all kinds of comments, some good, some on the other side. But thanks for joining us today to make us think about this very important thing. And I will see you next week on the Smarketing Show.
Thanks so much, Reid.
Hey, thanks so much. Awesome.